Alright, guys, welcome to week 13. We're down to 6 weeks of football. It feels like we just started, right? And now it's gone. Anyway, so let's get started with our first game, which is tonight, and that is the Cowboys and the Saints. Two teams that are desperately looking for a win. Like, they are in desperate need of a win, and yeah. Both teams coming off of a heartbreaking loss due to penalties, some of which I feel like were a little unearned. And the Saints, who just got absolutely ass-blasted in their own home stadium. So both teams, the Saints and the Cowboys, are looking for a win, and the Cowboys have kind of had a little slide. The Saints are up and down. It's really hard. This is a really hard-to-tell game. This is a really hard-to-tell game. The Cowboys are probably more than likely going to win their division. There's no doubt about that. But the Saints looks like they're fighting for a wild card spot, which they might not get. The Vikings are fighting really hard. So, having said all that, I think I might give this to the Cowboys. But if they lose again, I'm just not going to pick them again. I'm just not going to pick them again because they have all these weapons on offense and a damn good defense. But now I'm really concerned because Dan Quinn is going to be the head coach tonight, and we all know how that went. But who knows? Maybe Dan Quinn could be a better head coach than Mike McCarthy. Who the hell knows? That's I know I'm not asking for much. Anyway, moving on to an AFC South division between the Colts and the Texans. Colts, Texans, you've got 2 wins, which I don't know how you've gotten, one against my team, the Titans. And AFC, and as I've always said, divisional games always bring out the best in both teams. So, this is a tough one to say, but I think I am going to give this to the Colts because they are riding a lot of momentum, and the Texans are the Texans. But again, who the hell knows? Speaking of divisional games, next up we have the Vikings and the Lions. Lions, you had another heartbreaking loss on Thanksgiving. Your disappointment in embodiment. Vikings, you guys, while inconsistent, are fighting hard for a wild card spot, and even though you had a heartbreaker to a heartbreaking loss to the 49ers, you still kept in there. I do see that the Vikings are probably going to get a wild card spot as hard as they're fighting, but they need to ride this momentum, and they're probably going to make a statement out of the Lions. And when I say make a statement, I mean they're probably going to make a very big statement and take all that anger out on the Lions. Anyway, now coming to a game which should be interesting, said no one, is the Giants and the Dolphins. Dolphins and Giants, this is another game of who's gonna suck more. This really is a game of who's gonna suck more in this game, and yeah, I don't know who would win, honestly. I think I might give this slightly to the Dolphins because I think they're just a little bit stronger on defense, but this is a game that could go either way, honestly. This is a game that could easily go in the other team's favor. Like, honestly, this does seem like a game that could fly in one favor or the other. Following that, we got the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Buccaneers and it's another divisional game, so it should be entertaining, but it's the Falcons, so yeah. Falcons, what the hell? You guys embarrassed yourself. I mean, the Lions at least are trying to rally around a coach that believes in them. Falcons, you just have no identity. You're an embarrassment to the rest of the league, and you've soiled Matt Ryan's career. I am going to give this to the Buccaneers, but who knows? Maybe the Buccaneers will go 28 will have a 28-3 point, and then they had their opportunity to pull a 28-3 on the Patriots, and they failed on that entirely. So the Buccaneers are probably going to win this, but I would think it would be very fun to watch the Falcons beat the Buccaneers. I mean, it is a home game for the Falcons. And like I've always said, divisional games always bring out the best in both teams. But again, it's the Falcons, so you got to take the safe bet with the Buccaneers. Anyway, next up we have the Eagles and the Jets. This is another. This actually, at first glance, you'd give it to the Eagles, but the Jets do have are actually building some talent around them. I know, I'm shocked too. They have their legendary Mike White, who I think is still on the injured list, but it's still the Jets, so, they are the basement. So I'm going to give this to the Eagles, but who knows? This honestly does feel like a game that could go either way, but I am giving this to the Eagles. Next up, we have the Cardinals and the Bears. It's easy, right? The Bears have just had the only thing going for them is a defense that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and the Cardinals are just dominating everything they see in their path. They are just eradicating opponents left and right. So, yeah, this is no contest. This is the Cardinals. Next up, we've got a fascinating game between the Chargers and the Bengals. Both teams fighting to hold on to playoff spots. The Bengals have righted the ship, seemingly, after the bye week. And, yeah, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that's an excellent combination. Joe Mixon is a really good running back. On the other end, Justin Herbert is kind of showing his weaknesses now. We're really starting to see a lot of those weaknesses in his football, in his playing. And yeah, this is another game that could go either way. So, having said that, I think I am going to give this to the Bengals. I know the Chargers are fighting really hard, and again, this could go in their way if everything works for them, but the Bengals are really just fighting with everything they have for at least a playoff spot. And these guys have a good shot, as of right now, have a really good shot of taking the division. The AFC North is a slugfest right now, and surprisingly, the Bengals are really in control of their destiny. And if they keep playing like they have recently, there's a good chance they could take the division. It's not even like they could, they could make the playoff, make a wild card spot, but really how they've been playing and how the rest of the division is kind of at war with each other, these guys could sneak in and get the playoff and get a playoff, get the playoff division. I mean the division. They might win the division. Excuse me. So I'm going to give this to the Bengals. But again, this is another game that could go either way. Next up, you got the Jaguars and the Rams. Oh, Rams. Rams. You guys have been having some problems. You guys have been on a bit of a losing streak. The curse of OBJ looks real, but you look like you get a cupcake win here. Now, if you lose here, I am picking the Rams because it's the goddamn Jaguars. If you lose here, all faith is lost in you. All faith is lost in you, and you kind of need a win to bounce back from all the, losses you've had. So, I am going to give this to the Rams. But, you lose here, we're just done, Rams. All the talent you've put in here, all, just the hard work and effort you have tried to put into this team has really just shown, yeah, it doesn't matter. You've completely shit the bed on trying to be an all-in, get a Super Bowl. Anyway, moving on now to Washington and the Raiders. This is another game that is intriguing because this is another game where it could easily go either way. This is another go-either-way game. Washington is riding high on a win streak. Their defense is actually playing hard. Taylor Heineke looks really good. That offense needs a lot of work, though. Raiders, you guys got a win, finally, on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, mostly due to penalties. But it's really hard to tell if you're going to ride that that Thanksgiving win momentum, or if you're going to do the typical Raider thing and collapse through the season. So it's really hard to tell, But I am going to give this to the Raiders. But again, if you lose to Washington, I'm just going to say, like, maybe I'm just not going to pick the Raiders anymore. Anyway, next up, we have a divisional rivalry game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Ooh. Hey, Steelers. How about them Bengals, right? Swept by them in regular season. Ravens, you guys got an interesting win. Also, Steelers, you have no T.J. Watt. Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson is... I think he's getting more and more healthy. I am going to give this to the Ravens, but it depends on which version of the Ravens are going to show up this game. Steelers, it's time to admit it, Big Ben's done. Like, but we battled back against the Chargers. Yeah, but it's the Chargers who kind of prolapse. That's typical. Bengals just kept their dagger in the throat and just twisted. So again, divisional games are always hard to tell, but I'm going to give this to the Ravens. Next up, we got the 49ers and the Seahawks. Seahawks, it looks like you've just pretty much given up. It really does look like you've given up this entire season. Yeah. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be here next season. Everything hurts to be a Seahawks fan. 49ers, you guys are really, like, riding high on a win streak again after prolapsing midway through the season, but now it looks like you're riding the ship. So I think I might give this to the 49ers. This might be I feel like this could be a dogfight despite the win records, but the 49ers are starting to like rewrite the ship, whereas the Seahawks are just like abandoned ship at this point. Next up, we got the Broncos and the Chiefs for our Sunday night game. Yeah, this is a tough one. No, said no one ever. This is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, but I will say that there are some problems I'm seeing with the Chiefs. Like, there are some just definite problems I am seeing with the Chiefs in here. Still, even though they're going on a win streak and are now leading the division, and the Broncos did have a surprise win. If they can get their shit together, they could prove a challenge for the Chiefs. But I will say, I am still giving... Having said all that, though, I am still giving this to the Chiefs, nonetheless. So there you go. Next up, we got a divisional AFC East division game between the Patriots and the Bills. Bills, you guys dominated the Saints on Thanksgiving. I mean, you still had that weird-ass loss to the Jaguars. I don't understand what happened there. And the Patriots are trying to take the division that you have long fought after. You have long fought after the division. You've long fought after the division, and you want to be back in Big Brother's shadow again? This is your time to prove it. You want to prove that you are the rightful owners of the AFC East. This is your chance to do that. For this Monday night game, you need to make a goddamn statement. So I am giving this to the Bills, but I do see this as a tough fight. This is going to be. I feel like this is going to be a slugfest, because Bill Belichick's going to be like, "Fuck them Bills. I'm Bill Belichick. I cheat and lie and steal. I'm a piece of shit human being." I know he doesn't sound like that, but that's what he sounds like to me in my head. So, Bills, it's time to come out swinging. Like, if you want to prove that this is your division again, yeah, it's time to beat Big Brother back into the basement. So, anyway, I'm giving this one to the Bills. Anyway, but who the hell knows? Especially this season, like, who the hell knows anymore? So there you go, guys. Those are my NFL Week 13 predictions. You guys comment below. Let me know. What do you guys think of this? My Titans desperately needed this bye week. Just saying, like, we desperately needed a bye week after that beating we took from the Patriots. So, and everyone's injured. We kind of need a moment to rest. So yeah. Anyway, so for all 10 people who watch these videos, just comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.